Hi, my name is Michael Simmons, and I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, and I've loved learning ever since I can remember. I've read thousands of books across every topic you can think of, and after a while I became really interested in learning how to learn and improving how I learn. I now lead the largest community of people interested in learning how to learn with hundreds of thousands of members, and I've taught thousands of students in our Mental Model of the Month Club and Learning Ritual course, How to Learn Faster. In my 5-minute course, I will teach you a modern method of reading that will 5x your reading speed and double what you learn. And moreover, it's really fun. And that's important because if you love reading, you're gonna read a lot more. I call the method Fractal Reading. So we've reached a really interesting point in our knowledge society. The metadata of a book, whether it's the author presentation, a book summary, a book review, or an author interview on a podcast, all of that is often more valuable than the book itself. And there's 3 reasons why. First, all of this is free, which is amazing. Number 2, a lot of the metadata is multimedia. So you could listen to a podcast interview as a podcast, or you could watch an author presentation on TED.com or YouTube. This means you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're walking, and you could find more time to do it. And then number 3, the metadata is really high signal to noise ratio. So let's say there's a 20-minute author presentation on the book. What that means is the author is going to choose their best story, the big idea, and just focus on that in the 20 minutes rather than spending 5 hours going really deep. Fractal reading is when you consume the book's metadata before you consume the book itself. So why would that be called fractal reading? The reason is the book is the condensed version of the author's general thoughts, and then the metadata is the condensed version of the book itself. It's an abridged version. It contains many of the same elements, just shortened to get to the key ideas. And so this is called fractal reading because fractals are objects that appear self-similar at different levels of scale. So what does fractal reading look like? So essentially, as I'm reading and consuming the metadata, I'm doing 3 things. Number 1, I'm determining, is this a book that I should read or not? Number 2, if I do want to read the book, I'm thinking about which chapters are most important, which ideas are most interesting. And this is particularly helpful when you consume the first and last chapter of the book metadata, which you can often do for free, and also look at the table of contents. And then lastly, I apply a reading method I call the HA hack. And the HA hack is very simple. It starts with H, stands for highlight. So anytime you get to a part or an idea that sounds like something you would normally highlight because it's interesting, you take a second to pause, and then you do A, which is you ask yourself how you can apply this to your life, why it's important, and you just reflect on it and try to understand why your unconscious flagged this and how you could apply it to your life. So a lot of people ask me, aren't you missing something really important by not reading books front to back until you're done? And I would say a resounding no, and here's why. I'm spending my time on the most important parts that are the most engaging, so it's a lot more fun. And there's a critical part that happens here as well. When you find that part that's really important, I actually do something I call deep reading. So rather than just going the normal speed and occasionally taking notes, I'm probably going about 10% the speed and really reading deeply to make sure I understand it. So that means rereading things I don't understand. And it also means taking really detailed notes. I'm pulling out anytime the author mentions another author or thought leader or book that I should learn more about. I'm pulling out keywords. I'm pulling out big ideas. I'm creating a book summary sometimes. I'm creating a whole research brief as well. And so what fractal reading looks like is at a high level, you're kind of zooming out from a really high level and seeing what the most valuable things are. And then you get really granular into the key things and spend a lot more time on those going deep. All right, so let's bring it all together. Here's how to fractal read step by step. So number 1, if there's a book I'm considering, I'll go and to Google and search for 2 to 3 book summaries. I'll also go to Blinkist as well, where I'm a member. The next thing I'll do is I'll look for author presentations. So often if there's an academic researcher at a symposium, they'll deliver a 20 or 30-minute talk or a Google talk or a TED talk. I'll look for something like that. And at that point, if I'm still really interested and I've taken notes, then I'll go to Amazon and look at all the reviews. And particularly, I'll look at the most helpful 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star review. So I'm getting a full perspective of the book. And then if it still passes at that test, I'll actually do the search inside the book or get a free sample or go to Google Books and look at the table of contents and try to read the first and the last chapter. And if at that point the book looks good, I'll dive in and actually read the book.